Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's your boy, Toddy Walnuts, and it's been a minute since I did a video. I almost feel like I forgot how to do it, so let's see if we can remember. We got everything in piles, check. I got Scream Factory here. Those are some of the kind of cheaper titles that I was missing, so I want to kind of fill in some of the missing slots, and I got some pretty good titles in there for a really good price. I got a couple of editions here of, what were these called again? The Film Detective. Some good sci-fi goodness there. I got a couple new additions to my Nico Mastorakis collection, and this is all of my Nico Mastorakis collection. I'm going to show you everything that I have, including the new ones. I got a couple of special edition DVDs. No, these are Blu-ray DVD combos with glow-in-the-dark slipcovers, so we're going to show you those. I got a couple of Atari2600 games that are ultra rare, probably two of the rarest titles for the Atari2600. Got a couple of clamshell horror movies on VHS. I got a little pile of Christmas goodies that I got at a thrift shop, and then I got a little pile of animation VHS that I got at a thrift shop as well. I also picked up kind of a rare figure. This is a double figure from Halloween 2. It has Loomis and Michael Myers. And if you stick around till the very end, I'm going to do a shout out to a fellow YouTuber who sent me a couple of movies. So we will go through those. So sit back, relax, get yourself a snack and a beverage. Let's see if we can muddle our way through another update video. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you guys for tuning in to watch another Toddy Walnuts video. And now that I'm over 8,000 subscribers, I'm not going to record videos anymore. From this day forward, I'm going to film my videos. I think that's what the fancy YouTubers say, they're filming a video. I can be a classy pants too. So I'm the kind of guy who's, if I'm by myself and I pass gas, I say, "Excuse me." So I'm classy. Let's film a video here for YouTube. I got a bunch of Scream Factory titles that were movies that I was missing from my collection. Some of these were really cheap. I think some were like $5, all the way up to like $12, $14, I think was the highest price I paid for one movie in here. These are all brand new, sealed. I didn't even open these yet because I don't think these movies have anything on the inside as far as like booklets or anything. So I didn't even bother to open these yet. I usually keep my movies sealed until I watch them. But this is called Rabid Dogs. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo from Scream Factory in conjunction with IFC Midnight. I believe this one is in French language with English subtitles. And I think this is kind of a, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a remake or a reimagining of the 1974 Mario Bava cult classic that was called, same name I believe, Rabid Dogs. Yeah, that's right there. It says it on the back. Chilling remake of the 1974 Mario Bava cult classic. So I don't know what to expect for this one, but it was really cheap. And actually, I think this one was $3, brand new and sealed. So I grabbed that one for the collection. Didn't have it yet. The next one is called Dr. Blood's Coffin. This was another cheapie. Check out that cover. Love that old school horror and sci-fi. Check that out. This might go in tonight. I don't have much going on tonight, so this one might go in. This is a 1961 movie. Looks really cool, so I grabbed it. The next one is called Super Beast. It says, see a half man, half monster ripping helpless victims to shreds in this mad hunger for human flesh. It looks like it's some kind of a Bigfoot movie. You can see it has pretty good makeup and practical effects. And this movie came out in 1972. Looks like your classic B movie, and I'm all for that. The next one's called Eye of the Cat. This was by the screenwriter of Psycho. And this one came out in, let's see here, 1969. So that looks pretty good too. Killer cat movie. Not the biggest fan of cats myself, but I don't dislike them. I'm more of a dog person, but to each their own, you know. This one is called The Vampire. Check out these covers, man. They look really great. These are really, really good covers. And this one looks like it might be in black and white from 1957. Yeah, it is black and white, region A. Thought that looked pretty cool, so I grabbed it. Here's one called What's the Matter with Helen, starring Debbie Reynolds and Shelley Winters. It has a soundtrack by Johnny Mercer, who was one of my favorite crooners from back in the day. He was around the same time as Bing and Frank and Dino. Those guys. Really, really good music. And this movie came out in 1971. This one's in color. It says it's in color by Deluxe. Pretty fancy. A couple of Oscar winners, Debbie Reynolds and Shelley Winters, in the same movie. This one I wanted to pick up because I do like the twin billings, the double features, and even though I have both of these movies as a separate release a few times, more than a few times, I wanted to get this Scream Queen double feature of The Fog and The Howling. Everybody knows these two movies, don't have to say much about that. I wanted to get this one before it went out of print, and I got it, so it's going to go into my double feature collection. The next one sounded really cool. It's called Of Unknown Origin. And this one stars Peter Weller. And it's from 1983. And I'm trying to figure out who that is. That almost looked like Shannon Tweed, but it doesn't. Yeah, it is Shannon Tweed, actually. Wow. Shannon Tweed right there by my finger. She's always been a hottie. She's been in some good kind of Skinamax erotica type movies from Showtime and Cinemax back in the day. That is Gene Simmons from Kiss. That's his wife. And this one sounded pretty cool. Sounded pretty good. Actually, I'll read a little bit about it to you guys. When not mired in the corporate rat race, Wall Street executive Bart Hughes is the king of his sleek Manhattan brownstone until he finds his castle under siege by the most determined of home intruders. Forced to enter a rat race of an entirely different sort, Bart takes a stand with his survival and sanity at stake. So, of course, we all know Peter Weller from RoboCop, and he also played in Sons of Anarchy. And he was in Seinfeld, I believe. The next one was really cool. I love sci-fi horror movies. This one's called X, the Unknown. It kills, but it cannot be killed. It rises up from 2,000 miles beneath the earth to melt everything in its path. X, the Unknown, starring Dean Jagger and Edward Chapman. Another black and white movie. You know, I mentioned this in my videos before. several times before, but as I get older, I really appreciate and I really enjoy black and white movies. This movie came out in 1965. So you do get some bonus features too. I didn't want to spend too much time talking about the bonus features because I do have a lot to show, and if you guys have any questions about that, just comment below and I'll hit you back. Next one's called Monster on Campus, Monster on the Campus. I never heard of this one before, and I don't remember it coming out, but it's a Scream Factory title. Another black and white. You can see it's a guy in a rubber suit. Another B movie. It says A Monster Born in a College Lab. A movie from 1958. Atmospheric and suspenseful. A good dose of action. A good old-fashioned creature feature. Nice. It hit all the right notes and never failed to entertain. That was from the Telltale Mind. Whoever that is, that's a great way to describe a movie. It definitely interests me, so I will check that one out. The next one, I may have this one already. I don't remember, but if I did, I got it again, and this was very cheap. So this one's called The Mummy's Shroud. And just check out that cover, man. It pulls you in. It's kind of like a chartreuse green with that almost kind of a burgundy red arrow in the upper right corner with the font, The Mummy's Shroud, also in that burgundy. It says, warning, to every creature of flesh and blood, beware the beat of the cloth-wrapped feet. That was a little unusual, but hey, it sounds pretty cool. It's a Hammer movie from 1966. So you know it's going to be good. The next one is one I wanted to get for a while. I had it in my hand one time at an FYE, but they were asking, I think, like $24 for it at the time. I ended up picking this one up for $15 sealed. So sold, I got it. This one's called The Borrower. And when I look at that image there of the face on the front, that almost reminds me of Chop Top Sawyer from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. I'm going to show you guys a little comparison here of the two of those, and you can tell me what you think. But there's Chop Top Sawyer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in there very good. Tell me if I just have an active imagination or if there was some resemblance there, but to me that looks like Chop Top Sawyer. So The Borrower from 1991. So I consider anything from 1990 and later to be modern horror, and anything from 89 and earlier is kind of like your classic. Anything from the 60s and earlier is like the golden age of horror, in my opinion anyway. But this one has Rae Dawn Chong. If you guys remember her from the 80s and 90s, that's Tommy Chong's daughter. But yeah, this one looked pretty good too. It says superior genre fare about a cannibalistic serial killer from outer space who's just trying to get ahead in this world. Now, if that doesn't pull you in, you may not have a pulse. You might want to check your pulse. Next one is called The Brain, Mind Over Matter. This one looks pretty ridiculous, but that's right up my alley. I love ridiculous. I'm all about the ridiculousness. So this one is from 1988, it looks like. And it says decapitation by punch. Teddy bears crying tears of blood. Divorce by chainsaw. A fun little sci-fi movie that keeps you entertained. That was from 80s Horror Central. And again, I'm not familiar with those gentlemen or those ladies or whoever that is, but that's a good way to describe a movie, and I'm interested. Sold. The Brain. Here's another creature feature movie called Trog. It says found one missing link and all that terror that goes with it. Starring Joan Crawford. Another guy in a rubber suit. It actually looks pretty good, and I've never seen this one before. It's from 1970. And looks like it has a really weird rating. I don't know if you can see that down there. It says GP. I can't read the little box because I'm getting old and I don't see as well as I used to. But I can't. Let me see if I can. I don't think you guys are going to be able to see it either, because if I get really close, you either get the reflection of the flash or it just kind of washes out. But this is a movie from 1969. And it looks like they kind of added some bonus features to it. You have a new interview with film historian Kim Newman, and you get a new audio commentary with David Delval. Cool. But that looks pretty good. And old Joan Crawford. She's kind of scary to me, even not in a horror movie. She was kind of a scary woman. The next one is called A Stranger is Watching. Now, this one says, beneath New York's Grand Central Station, a killer can hide. Victims can disappear, and 1 million witnesses will never know it happened. That sounds good. This is a movie from 1982. Right in my wheelhouse. I love me some 70s and 80s horror movies, especially early 80s. It says they don't see him, but he's there, plotting, planning, and anticipating every move they make. This terrifying thriller follows a psychopath as he imprisons a little girl and a famous reporter in a dank maze of tunnels beneath New York's Grand Central Station. He first wants to collect a ransom and then murder his captives. His victims only hope in their own wits and the aid of homeless people who roam this underworld, this urban netherworld. Let me see who's in this one. I don't remember ever seeing this one, but it's a Sean S. Cunningham film. We all know Sean S. Cunningham from Friday the 13th. Has Kate Mulgrew and Rip Torn. I know them. Victor Miller, again from Friday the 13th. Screenplay by Victor Miller, who also did the screenplay for the 1980 Friday the 13th. And Sean S. Cunningham was the director of the 1980 Friday the 13th. Very cool. Very, very cool. Glad to have that in the collection. The next one here is called Chamber of Horrors. Check out that cover. It kind of reminds me of a lobby card from the 1960s. It says the year's most startling entertainment innovation, a film with many scenes so terrifying a built-in audiovisual warning system has been devised. You get a fear flasher and a horror horn. The fear flasher at the start of certain scenes that may be considered too shocking, a red light will begin to signal on the screen to alert you of the terror ahead, and the horror horn. At the same time the fear flasher starts blinking its warning, the horror horn will sound the alarm. Precisely at this instant, shut your eyes and hold your ears, for you are embarking on the Chamber of Horrors. The unspeakable vengeance of the crazed Baltimore Strangler. Nice. Wow. That actually sounds really good. I was starting to kind of clown on it for a minute, but it sounds pretty good. 1966. Not rated. And it only has one special feature, and that is a audio commentary by film historian and author Dr. Steve Haberman, and you get a trailer, a radio spot, and a TV spot. Cool. Glad to have that. These are all really, really affordable and really fun movies. Here's some good sci-fi here for you. This is called This Island Earth. It says it took them 2.5 years to make the movie. Really, really good cover. They kind of ruined it with that little bubble in the middle, if you ask me. It says 2.5 years in the making. They shouldn't have put that there, because that would make a beautiful poster. And this one came out in 1955, but it looks like it's in color. And this is the one, I believe, that has the Metaluna mutant, I think. Is that him right there? I could be wrong about that. Yeah, it is. It is the Metaluna. The Metalunans, they're called, but the main monster in this one is called the Metaluna mutant. I have it in a horror figure. And this was a Universal movie. Here's another killer cat movie called Strays. It says, they say cats have 9 lives. Will one of them be yours? Strays. Again, I'm not the biggest cat fan, but I will watch this and check it out. It's from 1991, and it's probably just your basic B movie. It says, when the cat's away, you'll survive another day. Even the taglines are corny as heck, so you know that's probably going to just be cheesy fun. And then we have the Catermass and the Pit. And I know a lot of people call this Quartermass, but if you look at it, it's not quarter, it's Catermass and the Pit. I've heard many, many people make that mistake, but check out that cover though. This is another Hammer movie from 1967. It says it's from Hobbs End, Knightsbridge, London. I think Hobbs End is right next to Bell End, if I'm not mistaken, in London. I could be wrong about that. I heard there's a lot of Fanny in Hobbs End. But yeah, that's the last title from Scream Factory. You guys will have to let me know how I did on those titles. I think there's 22 of them, or 21, I can't remember now. I'm going to pause it here, and we're going to get into the Film Detective. There's 2 of those. Okay, so moving right along. And guys, just so you know, I don't take myself seriously. This is just for fun. My movie reviews and my updates are just as corny as some of these movies I talk about, so I never take myself too serious. This first one, like I said, these are both from Film Detective, and these are special editions. The first one's called The Brain from Planet Arouse, featuring new contributions by original cast member Joyce Meadows. And I do love sci-fi and horror, as you guys all know. You guys that follow my channel know how I do it here, but this is a movie from 1957, black and white, 71 minutes running time. Really, really cool. I've never seen this movie, but that cover dragged me in. Hook, line, and sinker, sold. So I thought that was a great buy. And the same thing with this one. It's called Monster from Green Hell. And actually, when I put this in my cart, I thought this was a Scream Factory title. Didn't realize it was a Film Detective movie. But this one's restored from a 4K transfer. Another sci-fi creature feature movie from 1957. Again, it's black and white, 71 minutes. Now, if you look at that photo right there on the left by my thumb, that looks like it's in color to me, but at the bottom down here, it says black and white. So I don't know what to believe, but these are both 2022 releases, so these are both pretty new. So if any of you guys have seen either of these movies and you want to give me a little rundown without giving any spoilers, I'd be glad to hear from you. So this next pile, this is going to be my Nico Mastorakis pile. And he's a director that I've really come to love. And he's still with us. I want to say he's in his late 80s, maybe early 90s. He's still with us. But I really, really enjoy his movies. He has low budget horror movies, shock movies, cult movies. These first, let's see, I'm going to pull these off to the side. Now, okay, I guess we'll start here with Island of Death. This is an upgrade for me because I do have the original Arrow Video Island of Death DVD, which is a great cover, by the way. You can see a guy with a hammer in his hand and he's cocked back like he's ready to just destroy. He's going to slay somebody, and you can see that he's pounding a nail into that guy's palm. And he's got another nail in that palm. It's almost like he's crucifying him. And then on top of that, there's a naked female with the heart-shaped buns crawling over the top of that guy. So, yeah, this movie is ridiculous. It's crazy. It's over the top. It's low budget. The acting's terrible, but it's still fun. I really enjoy this movie. So I had this already, and I upgraded this one. This one's been out for a long time. I think I got this for under $10 sealed. So I grabbed it. And this, again, is this was his first movie ever made by Nico Mastorakis, Island of Death. And this is all region. I'm trying to see when this came out from Arrow Video, 2015. So this has been out over about 7 years now, almost 8. We're almost into 2023 already. But I think this is a Blu-ray DVD combo. And if you guys can see the reversible cover, you'll see what the original, actually I'm going to pull it out. This is the original cover, which to me is a terrible cover. Absolutely terrible, but that's what they went with. And this one's not even that good if you ask me. That's not a very good cover. And this is not even really a good cover. They could have came up with something better for this, but you know, because these low-budget films, when they came out on VHS back in, when did this come out? 1976. You know, advertising was everything for these low-budget movies. So if you had a great cover, chances are somebody would rent it. Even if the movie was terrible, they would rent it just because of the cover art. But yeah, that's garbage. That might be one of the worst covers ever, if you ask me. I'm going to pause it here, put that back in, and we're going to keep going. Okay, so moving along, I'm going to continue with the new releases, and then I'm going to get into the stuff I owned already that was also either directed or produced by Nico Mastorakis. So he was a cult director, like I was mentioning, and he did very low-budget horror movies, and he also did action movies. And some of his low-budget movies were very well done. This one's called Hired to Kill, and it has George Kennedy and Brian Thompson. You guys may remember those two guys, George Kennedy especially, but Brian Thompson has that kind of that chiseled, grizzled face. Let's see if I can find a picture of him. One of my favorite actors of all time, Oliver Reed, is also in this movie. And this is the new 4K restoration of the film. This one came out in 1989. And it was released on Blu-ray DVD combo in 2016 by Arrow Video. But there's a lot of bonus features there. If you want to pause it and go through and read that. It has a cover done by Graham Humphreys. It looks pretty good. Graham Humphreys is a genius when it comes to covers. This one is just kind of meh to me, but so this is a Blu-ray DVD combo. Let's see if we can see the original cover. See if I can pull that out without creasing it. So that is the original cover, and that looks pretty good. And that looks like a staple of the 80s right there. Even though it was at the tail end of the 80s, 1989, that is definitely an 80s cover. You got a strong, muscular forearm holding some kind of a submachine gun with a cobra kind of lingering in the background, and then you have a chopper kind of zooming in its lights. Wow. And then this one came with a booklet. And yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome that it came with the booklet, considering this has been out since 2017. Usually these sell out pretty fast, and only the first pressings get a booklet. So apparently I got a first pressing after 5 years. There's what did I say his name was? Brian Thompson, I believe. So yeah, you guys probably recognize him. He's played a villain in a lot of things. He's kind of has that chiseled face, you know. He's kind of has that grizzled look to him. And he was in a lot of 80s and 90s kind of B films. There he is again right there. I'm sure you guys recognize him. There's Oliver Reed. Great, great actor. So I thought that was pretty good. I'm glad I got a booklet on that one, because Island of Death didn't have a booklet, but I'm not heartbroken over that one. So I'm going to pause it here and put the insert back in, and we'll keep moving. Okay, so moving along here, we have a movie called The Wind, and that's a great cover. I think that might be another Graham Humphreys. When we turn it over, we'll know for sure. It is. You can see right there, artwork by Graham Humphreys. I'm telling you, that guy doesn't miss very much. This was put out by Arrow Video in 2020. The movie itself came out in 1986. And you can see Meg Foster. She's been in a lot of stuff. Most notably, she was in They Live with Roddy Piper. But this is another movie I've never seen before. And this was supposed to be, it's just a Blu-ray. It's not a Blu-ray DVD combo, it's only a Blu-ray, but for some reason, and this was sealed when I got it, they have a swing tray inside there, and they have the Blu-ray here, but there was never a DVD because it was only a Blu-ray release, which is kind of weird. This one came with the booklet as well. And she was, you know, pretty good looking back in the day, Meg Foster. Wow, I'll leave it at that. We don't need to go any further into that. I mean, she wasn't gorgeous, but she was still, you know, she had good looks. Is that Railsback? Is that Steve Railsback? It's not Steve Railsback. Robert Morley. Hold on, let me go back here for a second. It looked like a younger Railsback to me, but you guys tell me if I need my eyes checked. Does that not look like a young Steve Railsback? I'm still not convinced it's not. Let me check here again. It doesn't have Railsback on here, so maybe I do need my eyes checked. But we'll take a look here at the reverse. And you guys may remember, if you guys follow my channel, that I purchased a poster, a theatrical poster, from an Etsy seller from the country of Turkey. And it was supposed to be Friday the 13th. I believe it was supposed to be part 5. And this is the cover that they had. Let me see if I can pull that out really quick. Actually, I'm going to take you guys with me instead of just pausing it, because I have my posters right over here. Pardon my dust here. Definitely need a little bit of a cleaning here. But if you look at this, that is supposed to be Friday the 13th, part 5. But it has this cover. I'm going to set that up there for a second. I'm going to show you guys a better view of that. So you have, this is the Arrow Video sleeve for The Wind. And there you have Friday the 13th, part 5, A New Beginning, with that cover on it. Somebody else had mentioned that to me in a comment when I showed that poster months ago, but that's pretty funny to see that. So I'm going to pause it here, put that back in, and we're going to keep moving. So that is The Wind, starring Meg Foster, and this again was from 1986. And the last new one is called Death Has Blue Eyes. This one came in the mail today. I haven't seen this one yet either. It says, Love Was Her Need, Murder Her Deed. So this is a movie from 1976, and it was put out by Arrow Video in 2021. If you want to read the special features, please feel free to do so. So again, I haven't seen this one. I did flip the cover because this was the cover that was on there. That's the newly commissioned art. And the one that I flipped, that must be the original. And then this one also did come with a booklet. We'll flip through that really quick. Still have a lot of stuff to show, but I'm going to kind of go a little bit faster. So I'm not sure if this is Nico Mastorakis' take on kind of like a giallo movie, because I haven't seen this, but it sure does have that feel to it. Just from the title of it and, you know, some of these little still photos, it has that, it just has that feel to it just by looking at it. So there you go. There you have it. Death Has Blue Eyes. If there's ever been a giallo title, Death Has Blue Eyes would be it. I mean, that screams giallo to me. So just really quickly, kind of do a little recap here of these 4, and then I'll show you the ones that I had already that were Nico Mastorakis movies. These are the 4 that I just picked up recently. And then I had this Island of Death DVD. I also had from Vinegar Syndrome Dark Room. He was the executive producer for that movie. Nico Mastorakis was a executive producer. Then I have In the Cold of the Night. This was directed by Nico. I also have Grandmother's House, which was directed by Nico, I believe, or did he do the... Yeah, this was his film. He directed that one. And from Arrow Video, these 3 are from Vinegar Syndrome. And this one is also an Arrow Video release right here. The Zero Boys, which was very good. It was... the first half of this movie was action and only action. And then the second half of the movie was horror and only horror. It was really weird, but it worked. It was really good. So I'm going to pause it here, put some of this stuff away, and we're going to continue with some Disney stuff. Okay, so it looks like we're a little bit more than halfway done. So if you are still with me, thank you very much for watching, as always, and thank you for the support. So these next 2 movies are Disney Movie Club exclusives, and these are both glow-in-the-dark slipcovers, which were limited editions. So I had to grab these. And the first one here is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, the sing-along edition. Comes with this beautiful embossed slipcover. And it is a movie club exclusive, which I am a sucker for those. And Disney has some of the best marketing ever, because no matter what they release, I keep buying this stuff. It's like an addiction, and there's a lot of people that have it too. There's a lot of people that have to get every edition. And, you know, just when you think you have them all and you're not going to buy anymore, they start putting out exclusives, and you want to grab all those too. So, hey, they got me again. And the next one's called Frank and Weenie. Again, it's embossed. It is a glow-in-the-dark cover. I'm not going to be able to show how that works because I use a flash on my camera when I record. So even if I cut the lights out, there's still going to be a light on here. So, but another Disney Movie Club exclusive. Another fun little Halloween type movies. And actually, these came as a pair from the Movie Club selection of the month for October. These 2 came together. I do have another one coming in the mail from November. It is the Santa Claus or Christmas 4-pack. It's another Disney Movie Club exclusive, and it has Home Alone, Jingle All the Way. I can't remember. There's 2 other movies in it. It escaped me at the moment, but I'll be showing that in a different video because it's not here yet. So wanted to grab those. I grabbed them. Now these next 2 are Atari2600 games that were put up by Wizard Video back in the 80s. And the first one is Halloween. And there's the cartridge. And then there's a little booklet. These games are really hard to find. And then I also picked up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Wizard Video. I'll leave a link down below if you guys are interested in these. It was from a Canadian seller. Very nice guy. I was chatting a little bit with him online through emails. And there's the cartridge. And then it also does come with a booklet. So yeah, go check him out. Tell him Toddy Walnuts sent you. I don't know if that's going to get you anything, but he'll know who you're talking about. And glad to have these two in my collection, just for kind of like shelf pieces. I don't have a Atari2600 console, but I could probably pick one up pretty cheap. But both of these games were pretty bad, actually. But the rarity of them and the collectability of them, I grabbed them. I also had, for a few years now, maybe 10 years or more, this was the Friday the 13th Nintendo game. And then there's the cartridge and the manual instruction booklet here. And again, it was another kind of a lousy game, but it was fun just to see Jason on the screen. So a little bit of gaming nostalgia there with Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Friday the 13th. All right, moving right along here, I have a couple of clamshell VHS horror movies. This one's called Don't Go in the Woods. You guys know that if you follow my channel, this is one of my favorite movies. I have a lot of fun with this. I know there's a lot of hate for this movie, but I have an affinity for this movie because I remember watching it on VHS as a kid. And it really freaked me out back then, and good to have it on VHS again. I have this movie many times. DVD, Blu-ray, now VHS. I kind of went backwards, but had to get it. Don't Go in the Woods. Classic cover. And I have a 2-4. This is a 2 full-length motion pictures. And these are Bruno Mattei, or Mattei. I believe it's pronounced Bruno Mattei. 2 of his movies. He went under the pseudonym of Vincent Dawn, but these are Mattei movies. Zombies, The Beginning, and Island of the Living Dead. This was number 14 out of 50, which I think both of these now are sold out. So I got some Christmas goodies from the thrift shops, and the first one here is the Rankin Bass classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Who doesn't love this? This thing is like brand new. I had to grab it. It was like a quarter, maybe 50 cents at the most. Love Rankin Bass. I love Rankin Bass almost as much as I love Hanna-Barbera, maybe equal. Here is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys. This is the clamshell. Again, it was like perfect condition. Had to grab that for the collection. Classic It's a Wonderful Life, starring James Stewart, one of the best actors to ever do it. No doubt about it. Everybody knows this movie. It's a Wonderful Life. And I'm not the biggest Jim Carrey fan, to be honest with you. I think he's pretty ridiculous, but I wanted to grab this one, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I do like Ron Howard movies, and I like this green clamshell. And I wanted to grab that. It was only like a quarter. I also grabbed some more. Let's see if I can pull this over here without dumping it. Some more animated movies on VHS. This one's Gulliver's Travels. Do you remember this one when you were a kid? This is from like, I think this is from like the 40s. 1939. I was close. 1939. That's an old movie. Then I grabbed a bunch of these Rocky and Bullwinkle. I never really see these out in the wild, and I just wanted to grab them. They were all in one store, and I grabbed them for like I think these were $1 a piece. And these are The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, Mona Moose. I think these are each an hour long, 48 minutes. They're each 48 minutes a piece. And then I got, you could see at one time this was at Half Price Books. That is not where I got them, but they were going for $4 at Half Price Books. So I got way cheaper than that. But this one's called Birth of Bullwinkle. You got Vincent Van Moose. I got Blue Moose. I have the whole series on DVD in a box set, but I thought these were pretty cool. This one's called La Grande Moose. Whistler's Moose. And the last one was called Norman Moosewell. So I'm going to pause it here. I'm going to show you guys a NECA figure that I got. And then if you stick around till the very end of the video, you may see a scene that I put together of these little characters here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I almost forgot. I do have some movies to show after this figure. So I almost completely forgot about that. So don't go away after this figure. I want to do a shout out here. One last shout out to this channel. This is the Halloween 2 NECA figure. This is called the Ultimate Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis 40 years. So you get Michael with 2 different head sculpts, and you get Loomis. And I switched the head out already because I did a little production for you guys. If you stick around till the very, very end, you'll see that. But you do get 4 different hands. You could switch out. You have I don't know if you can see that, but there's a scalpel, a syringe, a long bladed knife, a hammer, and then there's a hand with a lighter for Loomis. And then Loomis has 2 different guns you can put in his hand. And then of course you have that Halloween 2 pumpkin head. But this is a really cool figure, and I was glad to finally pick this one up. There's also a Loomis Laurie Strode 2-pack. I'm going to get that at some point too. This one was going for about $70, and the Loomis Laurie Strode 2-pack was going for like $50. So I'll probably pick that up at some point. Now this last little pile of movies is a shout out to a fellow YouTuber named Let Us Play. I've shouted him out twice before. I helped him get to 1,000 subscribers. He wants more, so I'll leave his link down below. If you guys want to go over to his channel, check him out. Give him a sub. Tell him Toddy Walnuts sent you. He sent me a little stack of movies here, which was pretty nice of him to do. He got me the Criterion 4K release of Double Indemnity, starring Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. It's a film noir movie with a femme fatale who was played by Barbara Stanwyck. She got the Oscar nomination for this movie. She didn't win. But if you ask me, Fred MacMurray steals the show in this movie. This is a great movie. It looked great on 4K. I really recommend this movie if you haven't watched it before. You get the Blu-ray and the 4K. I think that's what it is. Let me see. Blu-ray 1, Blu-ray 2. So I think the Blu-ray 1 is the 4K digital restoration, the 4K Ultra HD. And then the Blu-ray 2, I think, may be the special features. Now, I could be wrong about that. It may be the Blu-ray of the movie. I've only watched the 4K, so I don't know what's on disc 2. But it's directed by Billy Wilder. I strongly recommend this movie. It's very, very good. So he also picked me up another Criterion from the 50% off sale called Onibaba. This is a Japanese horror movie with samurai warriors. The movie is from 1964. Actually, I forgot to tell you the year It's from the 40s, I believe, of Double Indemnity. 1944, so that's a World War II era movie. The movie doesn't take place. There's nothing about World War II in that movie. I'm just saying that the year 1944 was in that era. This was a very good movie too. This was one that I had been aware of for years. Criterion released this on DVD many years ago. I always wanted to get it, never got it. He sent this to me. I watched it. It's really, really good. It is in Japanese audio, but it does have English subtitles. It's not distracting. Usually I don't like to watch subtitle movies. But this one was very, very good. And this is another winner to me. Again, I would strongly recommend this one. Onibaba. And then he picked me up a Vinegar Syndrome movie. Isn't that nice of the guy to buy me these 3 beautiful collector's editions? These are like top shelf pieces. This one's called Don't Open Till Christmas. This is a Blu-ray upgrade for me because I had the Mondo Macabro DVD of this movie. I think I put it in a red case. I can't remember if it came that way, but I believe I did put it in that case. And it looks a little bit better. But this is from the same producers of the movie Pieces, and this is a Spanish horror movie. And just check out that cover, man. Hold on, I'm gonna give you guys a better viewing of that. Don't Open Till Christmas. Very, very good movie. You can see that this is the original cover. And also it does have the slipcover cover. You can switch it if you want to. This is a movie from 1984. It's all region. And it is 87 minutes running time. This is a pretty wet movie too. It's pretty bloody. Just like you like your slasher movies. It's just days before Christmas in London, but not everyone is full of good cheer. As a maniac with a pathological hatred of Santa Claus stalks the streets, butchering any man that's unlucky enough to be wandering around dressed as Old Saint Nick. I'm going to leave it at that. You guys have to go and check it out if you want to watch it. So these 3 movies were very nice gifts from Let Us Play. Oh, I don't want to force that in there because it'll wreck that plastic. You got to be very gentle with these movies. I'm not even going to bother with that now. I'll put it together when I have both hands to do that. But I did want to do a kind of a little roundup here of the movies that he sent to me. Double Indemnity, Don't Open Until Christmas, and Onibaba. Thank you very much, Let Us Play. I already had thanked him. So hopefully we can get him some more subscribers to his channel. Again, I'm going to leave that link down below. You guys let me know what you think of this update video. I was kind of losing interest in YouTube. I wasn't inspired. I go through phases like that where, some weeks or some week I'll upload 3 or 4 videos in 1 week, and then I'll go 3 or 4 months without uploading a video. I need to find that inspiration again. Maybe you guys can help me with some comments. Maybe if you're not subbed, you can consider subscribing. And I'm a little tongue-tied. This was a very long video, so I'm going to end it here before I start making a fool out of myself. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, and I will see you next time. Later. Officer Hawkins, what's going on here? Was it Michael? Has he killed? Has Michael killed again?